So we're outside of my house here. If you've noticed, I actually don't got a garage. The reason for that, there's actually multiple avenues you can go down when starting a welding business. I chose mobile welding just because, one, it's a little bit cheaper. You don't need so much equipment. You don't need a shop. There's a lot of overhead that goes into actually having a shop. So I decided to start out with a mobile welding business just because I can go out and service people around this certain area. But come on, we'll take a look at the truck. I actually got a funny story about the truck that goes really well with starting a business. But as you can see, I got my logo here, F350, dually, 4-wheel drive. You guys can see it's nothing fancy. All right, I just got started out. I don't got the money. I've seen those trucks that are all murdered out. They're sweet. They got the awesome weld bed. To be honest, I wish I had one. I really do. But those things cost about $8,000 just for the bed. And to get a really sweet truck, you're looking about $40,000. I did not have that money. I bought this truck just a little bit north of here for about $12,000 cash. And yeah, you can see what I did here. This was just a farm bed. I installed the welding boxes, or not the welding boxes, but toolboxes underneath here. I got another on the other side. Everything on here I actually built. You can see I got a Lincoln Ranger 250 GXT. I don't have a pipeliner. All right, that's another good lesson for you guys to kind of know when you're starting out, is know what you're getting into. If I was going pipelining, if I was actually going to be getting into just doing pipe, I would have gone for a pipeliner, probably an SA200. They're just excellent machines. But I needed this for the AC power outlet. I can run grinders, everything off of this. It's got multiple different settings. I can MIG weld. I've got the attachment to MIG weld off this thing. I can stick weld and I can TIG weld, all off this one machine. So it kind of helps me hit a lot of different avenues. And to go along with that, we'll go around here, I'll show you. I've actually got 5 bottles on this truck. I haven't really seen very many other people run it, but I've got both my oxygens here. My acetylene on the other side. I've got a 75-25 and I've got my argon. So I'm pretty much set up to do everything mobily. I got about 150 foot of cord here, 100 foot of oxyacetylene hose, and both 125 foot of stinger lead and ground lead. And you can see I got jack stands. You can get a little bit closer and I'll kind of show you what's going on here. I built this thing, I have some channel. Just built the box, and I just had some pipe laying around actually that I just used for this. So I fabricated the stands for this using a little bit of diamond plate on the front. And I was trying to figure out how to actually install these jack stands on the truck without getting in the way of the 5th wheel hitch there that I got. And as my dad pointed out actually, so I can get inside here, do oil changes and such. I didn't want to have anything right there in the way. So I actually got some 5/8, I believe this was 5/8 round stock. Put it in there, welded, went straight through, and it kind of hard to see, but I welded it down to the very post here. So it's solid, it's not going anywhere. These things have been riding around for quite a while. I was actually pretty proud of that. But you know, it's however you build your bed, it's gonna be specific to you and what you want to do. I'm a mobile welding service, so I kind of decided to put the boxes underneath. A lot of weld beds, especially pipeliners, they got it all up on top here, and that just, it looks gorgeous. I really love that setup. But for me specifically, what I'm doing, I'm not pipelining. I really like having this whole area here as a fab table. This is actually my mobile fab table, and I'm pretty sure I threw a tape on it. I've actually got about 4.5 to 5 foot of depth and about 7.5 foot wide. That's a pretty substantial fab table, and it kind of goes with me everywhere I go. So the funny thing that I wanted to get into about this truck is I went and bought it. When I was getting into the business, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to start cheap. I'm just going to start out. I'm going to have it just to get money, just to get going. Well, the lesson I learned is you never want to go cheap. I believe it was Warren Buffett that said it's better to have an excellent purchase for a fair price rather than getting a fair purchase for an excellent price. And that's what I did. I got a fair truck for an excellent price. I should have got an excellent truck for a fair price. And I hope that makes sense to you. So what ended up happening was I got this truck, thought it was a sweet deal, had everything, 4-wheel drive, dually, flatbed, 4-door, it's a 6.0 diesel. It's the everything, it's the 1-ton. It's one of the most expensive trucks you can buy. So what ended up happening was after I got it, there was multiple things that were actually wrong with it. And there's a reason why I bought this truck, $12,000 cash. Most trucks running like this, you found, it had 150,000 miles on it. Most of them were running about 20,000, 18 to 20,000. Well, I ended up getting to that point anyways. I put about $8,500 into it that needed repairs just for it to operate, for it to run. It was all on the high pressure oil side. There was no way of telling. I guess I could have taken it to somebody, but for the most part, you don't know when something's gonna break until it actually does. So that was just one of those lessons I learned. I dumped $8,500 right off the bat. That ate up a lot of my capital I had for startup. But everything works out when you just keep going, keep pushing. I had plenty of opportunities. I was taken care of very well, and it's just a grind every day. It's not going to be perfect. You're not going to get in the perfect truck and it's going to be the perfect weld machine and all this stuff. I did research for hours and hours trying to find the most perfect truck, the best diesel out there and all that. And trust me, I know I'm going to hear it from all of you guys. I'm sure anyone that knows diesels, they're just bad-mouthing 6.0s all day long. I've heard it both ways. Some people hate the 6.0s and think they're the worst diesels ever created. Others love them, think they're powerhouses. This guy, once I got him fixed up, actually it runs great. I love it. Hopefully it'll keep going for me, but it's not gonna be a forever truck. You gotta remember that. When you get a truck, you're not getting something that's gonna be forever, that's gonna be all inclusive, and that's your truck. So don't worry about getting the fanciest or the most expensive truck just to look sexy out there. I got plenty of friends, they've got some really slick looking trucks. They got some Dodge 3500s, they made their own weld beds, and they got painted up SA 200s. I mean, they're slick looking machines. I wish I could have gone that route. I just don't have the money at the time. And you gotta be honest with yourself. You've gotta assess yourself. Don't try keeping up with the Joneses. Don't try impressing anybody. You're here to do work. I know there's plenty out there that's always talking about, the show, you got Instagram and all this stuff, stuff that I'm on, that they always want to have the prettiest or the fanciest or the coolest, and it always wants, it's always a show. Well, I'm not going to go down that route with you. If that's what you're looking for, then you're definitely not going to want to follow me. It's definitely raw here. You get dirty, you get grease on your hands or on your nails. You get in there, you get sparks on you. I've got burns all over my arm. You learn, you get in there, you do the grinding, you do the work. It is work. And you're gonna start off in something like this. I hope you're fortunate enough to start off something like this. If it's even lower grade than this, at least you're making it work. At least you started. But no matter what, no matter how prepared you are for starting a business, specifically a welding business or a service business of any kind, you're gonna fail. There's gonna be mistakes made that you could not have changed in any way, shape, or form. They just hit you. So, mostly what I want you guys to take away from this is you just start. That's the most important thing. Just start. Don't worry about what other people are thinking, what other people are saying about you. For the most part, everyone out there is really impressed that you even got started. Most people do not have the gumption to even start their own business. So if you're wanting to start a mobile welding business, I hope that you continue to watch me, follow me through my journey. I just started this welding business in February this year. This is 2018. I'm going to try growing this business. I couldn't find anything online, hardly anywhere, besides I believe one good book. Other than that, there's nothing out there for how to start a welding business. I know there's plenty of you guys that are welders that have come through welding for many years. You're excellently skilled, but here's the trick. Being skilled at welding is such a small part of having a welding business that it's almost laughable that it's even called a welding business. You do very little welding, if anything. There's so much more to it. So that's what this whole website, my whole journey, this is what everything's going to be about, is teaching you all the nuances and everything of the other side of just the business part, so much more than just welding. And I hope it helps you guys out. Continue to follow me. We'll see where this thing goes. I think it's gonna be an awesome journey. But I just want to encourage you that, you know, this is it. You don't have to have an awesome, sexy, murdered out Dodge truck all jacked up with mud tires and have a sexy looking pipeline or bed on there, unless you can afford it. If you can do it, that's awesome. Please send me some pictures. I love those trucks. Those things look so mean. I'm just not there right now, and I'm actually not pipelining. But we'll get into that more. I'm going to have some blogs coming up. We're going to be talking about, there's so many different avenues to make money. It's not just in building trades or pipelining. There's so much more out there. And if you guys want, please just PM me on Facebook, or get a hold of me on Instagram, whatever you guys want to do. Please let me know what's going on. What are you guys doing in the field? There's so much out there that even I don't know. And I want to say that right up front while we're getting started. This is the first video I've got. I am not an expert in any way. I don't claim to be an expert. I don't claim to be the best out there, because I'm not. What I will claim is that I'm constantly willing to learn. I'm constantly willing to push myself. And I think any excellent welder out there that is much better than me, they'll say the same thing. The reason they got to being excellent is because they're constantly pushing. I've known guys that have done this 20, 30 years, and they're still learning every day. They make my stuff just look like child's play because it's just so beautiful. But you got to start somewhere. As long as you're starting, and as long as you have the attitude of you're always willing to learn, put the attitude, put the pride down. You know, let's actually learn something here together. I think it's going to be an awesome journey. All right, guys, talk to you later.